Welcome to the Financial Planners Southeast Asia podcast, a show dedicated to driving the positive evolution of financial advice, specifically within Southeast Asia. To join a global community of financial advisors sharing and learning with one another to drive the positive evolution of financial advice, head to xyadvisor.com. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Financial Planners Southeast Asian podcast. Gwen here, and today we are joined by not only a licensed or certified financial planner, he is also the founder of Blueprint Group of Companies, Raju Ramasamy. Good day, Raju. Did I pronounce your last name right? I forgot to ask earlier.
Yeah, you got it right, Gwen. You got it right. But you can address me as Raju. That's fine with me.
All right. Thanks so much, Raju. Thank you so much for coming onto the show. How are you today?
Excellent. I mean, it's a new thing, new experience because being locked down, and it's interesting.
Yes.
A lot of new ideas, new way of practicing.
Yeah, definitely so. But I'm actually very optimistic about this. And I'd like to think that a few years from now, once this lockdown is over and the pandemic is done, we'll listen back to these recordings like this podcast where we're talking about the pandemic and just laugh about it, hopefully laugh about it, and and come out stronger. And because we have learned a lot of things during the pandemic. But before we delve into that, I guess what I guess our listeners would also like to know is that, well, you've been in the industry for such a long time. I've done a little bit of research, and I guess you've been in the industry for more than 30 years. Am I right?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, cool. And so, as I've heard from other financial planners from Malaysia, the Malaysian financial planning industry is still, I guess, in a sense, is at its infancy. So I'm very curious to know that 30 years ago, why did you decide to get into the industry in the first place?
Well, Gwen, I mean, I'll try to be brief as much as possible, but it's a long story in the sense when I was only 16 years old, being the eldest in the family, I lost my dad. So I need to come out from a very rural place in Malaysia and get to the city and walk the journey alone. And that's where I got into the city, Kuala Lumpur, and went to high school thereafter. And whilst I was in the high school, I was self-supporting. I was invited for a career opportunity talk in the life insurance business. And this is a very large company in Asia, Great Eastern Life, and they're quite big in Singapore and Malaysia as well. So I was invited for a career talk, and here comes in a sales manager who says, you have walked into a gold mine and you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to drive big cars and you're going to live in big homes. Wow. And all the rara was truly exciting. And imagine that was at the age of 20. And at age 20, you show me some sports cars and, about lifestyle. Well, I got carried away. And that was how the first talk was. And I actually went into the life insurance business to make some money because the margins were very, very high those days. And so I ended up taking up the life insurance contract with this company and started my life while studying. I was selling life insurance. Of course, when I started receiving my first check, I got even more excited, very, very motivating because the money was good. And I got into it, and thereafter, I think I'm at the right spot. So within a period of about 7 to 8 years, I grew very well. I think I bought the first Beatles, Volkswagen, they call it those days.
Ah, I love
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, that was my first car, and I just got into it, and I started enjoying it. And I had a lot of friends, who were very supportive about what I was doing. There were only two products, basically, those days. One was the whole life, and the other is an endowment product. So these were the two products, pretty straightforward. I was just selling and selling and selling. And here comes, it's good, interesting. And I was very committed in terms of upgrading myself. So I got enrolled with the Malaysian Insurance Institute. And I listened to a lot of talks by great people in the industry. And I took up the Life Underwriters Training, LUTC, they call it Life Underwriters Training Council. They offered these programs which involves personal insurance, business insurance, personal growth. These are modules, and thereafter you are best off with a fellow. So I continued studying. The more I got into it, my practice started improving. The way I engage my clients started improving. And again, in most of the conferences I have attended Live Underwriters Association of Australia. I've attended their conferences. I've attended conferences organized in the Philippines, Asia Pacific, Singapore, name all this Asia Pacific Life Insurance Congress. So when I went into all this Congress and met a lot of very successful people, I got more and more involved with it. Basically, I was very indoctrinated with the concept of what life insurance was eventually. Then I gave it a shot in 1993. I did my $1 million roundtable, and I was a $1 million roundtable member, provisional member first year, and I went all the way to Dallas, Texas, attended the first conference. Wow, I was given a very grand welcome with a green tag on my jacket, and everybody was
Yeah.
giving me a hug and say, "Look, welcome to MDRT," and there you go. And thereafter, I started qualifying year after year, and a number of roundtable meetings I attended. Eventually, a life member. And once I got into it, I'm there. I mean, it's just that I believe in the concept of life insurance,
Yeah.
which provides for the living. And for me, it's a very important concept that everyone has to embrace. So that's how to be brief. That's how I got into the life insurance business. Gwen.
Yeah, wonderful. But it's actually a really nice story because you started in the industry because you were promised that you were going to get rich, right? And then the more that you delve into, educating yourself, you got really excited, and I think it's really an exciting time, especially I think during those times here in the Philippines, insurances were still a taboo. Like nobody really believed in it because it was something like you were just selling a promise. That's what other financial or at least risk advisors would say here in the Philippines, that you are essentially selling a promise. But because you believed in that, it actually provided you with the fruits of your labor. But before I ask the question that actually a lot of my colleagues want to ask, I'd like to ask first, Raju, like having been in the industry, I guess for more than 3 decades, that's not an easy feat. And I understand that you kept on educating yourself and improving your practice. But what would you say were some of the best decisions you've made that has enabled you to stay in the business for such a long time?
No, Joanne, this is the a lot of things that happens in this career, in this very noble career. It's perception. We feel wow, while in Philippines or in Malaysia or in Singapore or in some developing countries, this is what people feel. But people feel about life insurance. I humbly disagree to this. It's all about perception. Concept of life insurance, the product itself, the way it has been structured. It is a very, very important tool in the lives of any human who generates an income. And the concept of income replacement, providing for the loved ones, it's something that, any human would like to participate. So I think it all boils down to the belief system the practitioner himself has. So I mean, for me to to stay for such a long time, more than 3 decades, I believe in the concept of life insurance, and there's nothing that can replace that. It provides. It can replace your income. It can fund your critical illness. It can provide health insurance, and the pulling of the risk. The concept of pulling of the risk. Someone else is going to pay when when you get into trouble, and we pay to someone else when they get into trouble. So the concept is very, very divine. That is the kind of conviction and belief that I have in myself. And I met a lot of great people in the industry. I mean, Norman Levine. I mean, those who have been in the life insurance industry, they should know him. The legend, Tony Gordon, Mehdi Fakhrizadeh. And these are great people in the industry. And every time I go for the roundtable meeting, I get to see them. Wow, it's a very different feeling, Gwen. I mean, you are involved in the business of love and compassion. You are involved in a practice which provides for young children, for widows. Oh, go on, I can go on, and I can recite a sermon on this. So I mean, to answer you how I kept myself going, and even now, I think coming back to besides insurance, of course, when I went deeper into it, got indoctrinated into it, I must say. When I got into it, what happens is, hey, look, it's not just about selling life insurance products. I think in the journey of an individual or a business owner, there are many things. It's just not about managing the risk, but there are other areas. And when I went into the roundtable meetings frequently, what I saw is the life insurance business itself was evolving to financial planning. And this organization was founded in 1927. It's a premier association for financial professionals. They don't say premier association for insurance agents. No, it's called as a premier association of financial professionals. And MDRT was also evolving to sound financial planning. So what happened is the next thing I got into is I've kept upgrading myself. So I remember there was a booth during the MDRT meeting in, if I'm not mistaken, it was in Los Angeles when they had the other conference. And when I went there, I saw a booth by American College. They were promoting CHFC, Chartered Financial Consultant, which is a course for financial planning professionals. So the minute I got into it, wow, I saw this is something that I need to take it up, to add value in the lives of my clients, because I was only dealing with them on life insurance and risk management. So when I got into the course, at that point of time, Malaysia, they were not offering the course. It was offered in Singapore Insurance Institute. And eventually, Malaysian Insurance Institute offered the course, and I was one of the pioneers who took the course. It was very costly at that point of time. It was not cheap. And about 2.5 years, 13 modules. Wow, amazing. That was really exciting. We were doing something on retirement planning. The textbooks were like Bibles, the case studies, the tax laws, 401k. It was so exciting. And when I took the course and I completed it, way back in 1998, I said, hey, look, Mike, I can't be going on just selling life insurance to my client. I must be able to provide, hold their hands, walk through their financial journey, and provide more holistic and comprehensive solutions. So what next? I started a financial planning practice with no knowledge of how a practice is conducted, no clue, no practice model here, no revenue model, nothing, no tools. Even the regulators in Malaysia were not sure about the license they were intending to offer. So I got into it, and my wife used to say, hey, look here, you've been doing very well in the insurance business. You were selling good products. And why all this? Because I had a massive pay cut. Because during the transition and getting into industry, which, of course, you just say they still at the infant stage. Yes. I always joke around, Gwen, you know why? These industry is in Malaysia for the last 15 years. It's like a 15-year-old guy walking around like a child.
Yes.
Yeah, because you know why? I mean, end of the day, financial planning is all about continuous education, upgrading. But there's many things. So I mean, I don't want to say it's still at the infant stage, because I think we have come a long way, and that's how I got into from the MDRT platform. I got evolved into a financial planner, and even now I'm very very passionate about. I think you interviewed one of my guys, and I mean, number of them in the industry. Even Rajan Devadasan spoke to me about, hey, yeah, these guys.
Mm,
I mean, I'm very passionate about what I'm doing, and I am a believer. I mean, I'm a believer of financial planning, and financial planning is not about pushing products.
yeah. Hmm.
It's about providing solutions. So that's how I got into financial planning.
Ah, that's wonderful. And it's such a great story as well to share because, um, so I wanted you or I wanted to hear your story, Raju, because right now, especially here in the Philippines, my husband is a financial advisor, and I've heard some of his friends are actually in struggling a bit with their practice because of the pandemic. Some of them were not able to pivot on time with the times, and I think that's a very great story to share. That sometimes it takes, our the industry has come a long way, and there's actually a lot better things to come in the future. But I guess so. Most of my the people I know actually want to ask, like, how were you able to qualify for MDRT?
Yeah. Now, I still remember, Gwen, way back in late 80s. I did a talk in Manila Garden for this insurance company in
Ah,
Philippines,
mm,
Film Life.
yes,
I
yes.
still remember the agency manager. I'm not in touch with her now. I mean, I remember delivering a talk. There was a large number of insurance agents in the hall, and I could see. I mean, I'm very frank about it. The Filipinos, I mean, those in the insurance business, of course, that's I can only give my opinion or view about those
Mm,
in the insurance business.
yeah,
They're great
sure.
people,
Mm,
great people in the sense. I mean, naturally they are very people with a very rich in hospitality,
mm,
very kind in interacting with people, and they shower anyone like us. We go there, they shower us with a lot of very nice things to say, and so I mean, these are attributes one should have to succeed in the practice that we are in. Sometimes it's just about how we perceive things. You asked me during this pandemic, be very honest with you. I think we are doing much better in the advisory side of our practice,
yeah.
because today, in view of these challenges the people are confronted with, they have to revisit their financial goals and objectives that they have defined and probably documented or just thought of. Or it could be about retirement. They would have set their time horizons. It could have been about funding for their children's education to send them abroad to study. So all this has been disrupted now in a very choppy situation that we are in. So this is the time everyone has to start revisiting their financial goals and objectives. They have to start revisiting their assets, their liabilities, cash flow. What I feel personally, I mean, it's just that what we perceive, the level of belief that we have in what we do, is going to take us a long way. So qualifying for MDRT and all that, I believed at that point of time it's about product. It's about my belief in the product. This product, every home should have when there is a breadwinner, every business when there is a key person. Well, it's like playing Russian roulette where you are not. I mean, you are generating an income and you're not protecting it. That's crazy, right? So I believe that they should be educated. They should be taught about the importance of carrying a health insurance, carrying a income replacement product, carrying a critical illness funding product. They need to, So we just go into a mission. We go into a mission and start preaching. That's about it. And everything will fall in place. The rest of it, I think the tools are there. You have to approach 15 people, and five of them would like to listen to you. Probably one of them, would be able to, hey, yeah, I think I should pick up this product. So all these, the tools are all there. So I think the bottom line is, it's the belief, about what you are doing, and the value that you will be able to provide in the lives of people. So for me to consistently qualify at that point of time was the belief. And even now, in the financial planning practice, Gwen, and please allow me to blow an old trumpet.
Yeah.
We have this Malaysian Financial Planner Year Award, which is organized by this company known as Plan Plus, and offered by Financial Planning Association of Malaysia, which promotes CFP here in Malaysia. And 2015, we participated in the Malaysian Financial Planner Year Award. We won one award. 16, we didn't participate. 17, we participated, and we won two awards, number 2 and number 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think all that are in the website. And then moved on to 2018, we won 3 awards. The first place, second place, third place, all went to Blueprint. And 2019, we won all the 3 awards. And 2021, we won 2 awards. 2020, we won 2 awards. So I was wondering, hey, there are so many financial planning firms in the country. But for us, I can only speak about our practice model. Our practice model is known as the PAP model. That is, it's not the People's Action Party of Singapore, but we call PAP. First, it's mandatory to write a financial plan. Only then we dispense advice. Thereafter, we execute with products. So that's what PAP is. So that's our practice model. So again, is the belief system that I believe that I have this slogan now in most of my talks, Gwen. I said every Malaysian or Asian home should have a financial blueprint. That's the most important document. In every of my speeches, my opening is that's the most important document. And I qualify why I say that it's the most important document, because, even when we were young, our teachers, our parents, our grandparents have told us, if you have a goal, if you have an ambition, write it down. You have to write down what you want to achieve in your life. Likewise, a financial plan, the first thing that we do is the financial planner sit with the client and work with him very closely and start defining and documenting the financial goals and objectives of the person, short-term, mid-term, long-term. It could be any goals for that matter, maybe buying a new car, upgrading a home, getting married, having a child, vacation, wanting to give a holiday to the parents, or setting up a charity. All this is a very extensive and exciting interview, Gwen. And I love this first part of the process of sitting down with a client and defining and establishing financial goals and objectives. And that is documented in a financial plan. And once we have done that, we move on to listing out all the assets that the individual or the business owner has. We start documenting it. And some of them are crazy. They can't remember. Even this, I remember investing in some stocks. I remember investing in some mutual funds. 10 years ago, I remember buying a life insurance product. But where are all those? And we sit down and virtually compile all this and list this down. And all assets are recorded. And then we move on to liabilities. Then we go into cash flows. We go into doing a profile on their risk appetite. My goodness, and this whole document, we carry all this information, and the planner sits with when it comes to onboarding the client, sits with the client and get the whole thing done in a financial plan, a document. And can you imagine if something were to happen to the key person of the business or the breadwinner, this document becomes very handy because every information is inside that.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
that's
true.
what I say, Gwen, that this is the most important document in every home. So that's the belief, I mean, and I always challenge any of my audience. I said, look, I mean, yes, oh yeah, I have this asset. Oh yeah, I think I have these mortgages to pay off. I think my cash flow is in surplus. Not to worry, But today, in view of this pandemic that we are all being faced with, you have to sit down and look at all these things more so than before. So that's what I keep saying. A financial plan is the most important document in every home or business. Now, only then products comes in. Products is just, I mean, the best analogy I could give you is it's just prescription. I mean, you see a doctor, he examines you and say, look, Mike, you're all right. You have peace of mind. So when you write a financial plan, most likely, if everything is fine and you see it in the document, you will have peace of mind. Well, not to worry. Everything is all right with me. And if there are any issues or concerns, then we can execute or we can help fix it with the help of a financial planner. But most of them, like in Malaysia, I can tell you, I mean, I think you may have listeners all over. In Malaysia, when I started off, when I say, look, oh, I'm going to do this plan for you and I'm going to charge you X number of fees and all that, X amount of fees. They go crazy. They go, hey, I'm going to pay for this. Yeah. Penny wise, pound foolish, I say. But upon completion of the plan, Gwen, they would have seen, oh, wow, I'm saving so much. They have assets not been performing for years. When we get in, we fix all this. We reshuffle, reorganize, do the balancing, the switching, and look at their health insurance, look at their estate planning issues, bills. If you die intestate, distribution of assets is going to be very challenging. You have to seek a letter of administration. So it's basically the most important document in one's financial journey. We are living in a material world. So, of course, if we are living in a spiritual world, then we don't talk about money. That's fine. But we are living in a material world. So, the financial journey of one's life is everything. So I could, I mean, you could see, Gwen, in whatever we do, the belief, whether you believe in this or not, and whether you can add value or not. So, to answer you, I'm sorry, I think I took a long time to give you an answer.
That's cool.
Uh, yeah, so it boils down to that. And then you see the value in what you are doing. Of course, in terms of rating, when you say you're a financial planner, the guy looks at you, oh, financial planner. I have got situations when guys have insulted me in some networking meetings. I'm quite active in the Australian Malaysian councils and some other business councils. When we go for networking, I say I'm a financial planner. Wow, oh, and then very, they some of them even very blunt. Oh, these guys are conmen. They say that. So we are not rated very highly. I mean, I say, but then we don't have to bother about that, because when you have certain value systems in you, and you can go into my website, check my testimonies. Some of these clients who came in to give testimonies, they came voluntarily to give testimonies, because they know what we have. So to be a financial planner, I can see, not only here in many parts, even in Australia, I've met a lot of friends, when it comes to financial planning, immediately, wow, it's investments. No, it's just a product. Oh, it's insurance. It's a product. It's a solution. But before you get to the level of solution, you have to walk through the process of getting a plan written. That's the thing. So even in Philippines or any part of the world, that is what we should be talking to our clients when we are onboarding them, when we are engaging them. That this is the most important document in your financial journey. We have to be saying that, and we have to say that with full conviction. So and you people will value it. I have a lot of. I have the luxury now, of giving appointments 2 months from now or 3 weeks, 3 months from now, because I don't have the time. Some of them, they would just want to just engage me, and some I just distribute to my other planners, but they prefer to engage me. So it's interesting. So we have to have that sense of conviction and believe that we mean a lot in the lives of people.
Oh, that's so true. And I do hear your passion for this, and I think that's the best advice that we can provide to other financial planners or financial advisors who are um, struggling in this industry right now is just to believe in the integrity of of being a financial planner, and to believe that you are useful to your clients. I think that's such a good one, because you are absolutely correct. A blueprint is something that is a must. I think it's still the same as, if you're going to build a house that has been well planned. And if that plan is well executed, then you will get a really great house, as opposed to a house that was just built on a whim. There would be no direction, there would be no great foundation for that house, and it will crumble down as easily, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's very powerful. But I guess you mentioned that you're very passionate about giving this message to your clients, but here, or I know that even in Malaysia, there are still, like, the majority of the population is still skeptical about financial planning. Some of them, or especially here in the Philippines, would say that financial planning is only for rich people. So, how would you position yourself in, I guess, as a how do you position yourself to your client that you are an integral part of their to help them in their life?
I think the most important thing, Gwen, is about reaching out to people, and getting this message across. So there are many ways of doing it. Of course, in the insurance business, we were all being taught about prospecting, about branding, about networking. And I believe in this. We have to allow people to know us. Only when people know us, they will like us. Only when they like us, they will trust us. And when they trust us, everything happens. And this thing, I will back to agree. I mean, disagree with this, because people are the same everywhere. Whether it's in Philippines, whether it's in Malaysia, whether it's in Africa, in Australia, UK, or developing countries, whatever. People are the same. People are love. It's human. When you're a human, you have those basic attributes. We all share a lot, everything as a human in common. So when we know that what we have is something of very prime important in the lives of people, then you should allow people to know us and know what we do and what value we can add in their lives. So, how do you reach out to people? Well, if you have that belief that you can move on, I mean, you can help others, then you have to do this. This is where the tools come in. Execute whatever ideas that we learn. We have to execute. Now we do a lot of social media marketing. We make approaches in many ways and forms. So then we have to come up with an action plan and start executing what we have, and share what we have for the people to benefit them, and just tell them, I'm going to be here to hold your hands and walk through the your financial journey. And because I have the credentials, I have the competence, I have the know-how to take you through, walk you through. Don't DIY, don't do it yourself. It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
I guess that's right, because a lot of financial planners seem to overlook that part. I guess, or not a lot of financial planners, but I guess a lot of financial planners who are still starting in the industry seem to have overlooked that. But I guess another segue, and it just came to my mind here, and I think it's an interesting question. Hopefully, it is. But do you think, Raju, that do you think financial planners should have their own financial planners as well, or should they be handling, or do you think that they can handle their financial plans themselves?
You're talking about financial planners engaging another financial planner.
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes, yeah. If you're a surgeon, you can't conduct your own surgery,
That's a
isn't it,
good
Gwen?
point. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone whom we onboard as a financial planner in Blueprint, the first thing we got to do is to look at their own financial plan.
Mm.
And in some situations, I get in and I make sure that their financial plan is in perspective,
Mm.
and first help them out first, and they got to see the value first.
Yes, that's so cool. And I think that's very good to do when you're starting out, especially if you're having a new financial planner in your team, is to make sure that they themselves see the value in what they're doing as well, and to see another person in action actually helping them with their own financial status and managing their finances, because then they get to see, I guess, to model what they can do for their clients, right? So
Yeah, yeah, Gwen. You see, I mean, as I've been in the industry for over 3.5 decades, as you mentioned. I mean, even in the life insurance business, I've seen guys who are in the business where they don't own sufficient life insurance protection.
yes.
They don't. I mean, it doesn't work that way. You have to be a believer in terms of you wanting to add value in the lives of people. So, I mean, we cannot take the role of just a service provider or a product distributor, because being a financial planner, it's a very, very noble career, you have to have a very high level of passion and belief in it. So, therefore, you have to see the value for yourself. You have your family, you have your children, you have your own financial journey. First, that has to be fixed with that expertise of the industry. So you basically engage someone to to help you out first, and then you see the value. Thereafter, you will see a great sense of conviction in what you are doing, because you are a believer.
Yes, yes, that's
So
so
if I, if at all I wanted to give a message now, I would say, look, when you are taking up this financial planning as a profession, first thing first, get your financial plan in perspective first, and then you look at your risk management. Make sure that your health insurance is there, and your income replacement part of it in sequence it is there, and your critical illness funding is there. Then look at your investments and see whether they are meeting your expectations in terms of funding your financial goals and objectives. And the next thing, of course, make sure that you have set up a trust or a will, or you get your estate planning advice in terms of how distribution is going to be done first. So it's your life first. You just fix that. And once you have done that and you get out there and onboard a client, well, you'll be very real and very, very practical and very sincere about what you are doing. So I will definitely agree to your comment on that. Yes, they should. They
yeah.
should engage another financial planner to look into their affairs first.
Ah, yes. Thank you so much for answering that, because it just came to me while you were saying about you know, like no one can, DIY is a bad thing. So I was wondering, like, if that's a bad thing, so I guess it would be appropriate for a financial planner to also hire someone else. Because I guess the thing there is, if you do it on your own, even if you have the knowledge and the tools, you are still pretty much emotional because it's your own money, right? And when someone else comes in to help you out, they would be more objective to see the bigger picture of your own finances, and I guess that would really cement your belief about the nobility of your career, as you say. So thank you so much for that one, Raju. And
Yeah, Gwen. I mean, just to add on here, I have numerous occasions, especially step one in the financial planning process, that is establishing financial goals and objectives. When I get into onboarding a client and sit down and execute step one, talking to both the husband and wife, the couple, there are many a times been very emotional about it, Gwen. I
yeah,
have
yeah,
seen them in tears talking about what they want to do in their life. Wow, that's the most exciting part of the interview. Among all the 6 steps, the rest is all, pretty straightforward, collecting data, collecting data, that's pretty straightforward. But the first part of the financial planning process, step one, establishing financial goals. I have situations, when I've heard about special children in a special child in a family,
Yeah.
and the siblings are all married and gone, and the parents are getting old. This guy is no more a special child. He's 32, 33 years old. Parents are very worried about, who is going to take care of this guy. And you have to sit down with a financial planner and work and structure something out.
That's so true.
So I mean, it's very emotional. It's people, it's about people. How you mean you what you can do, in the lives of people. So I mean, that emotional thing. I mean, this is a challenge now for people like us. We have always been used to face interviews and discussions. Now doing it
Yeah.
over Zoom and virtually, it's a bit challenging. But then that
Yeah.
is the most exciting part of the interview in the financial planning process, Gwen. And that is very fulfilling, very satisfying, Gwen.
I agree. Yes, I agree. Getting to see what the how you can impact your client's life, because you have, like, I know that in your step one you get to really understand your client's situation, and then most often than not, there's always a a setback for them, right? Like, there's always this um, part of their life that still needs fixing or still needs fine tuning, and that's where you can shine as a financial planner.
Yeah. I mean, if we financial planners in any part of the world, if you can walk into the lives of 5 families a month, the next 12 months, if you can help 60 families, and end of the day, wow, what an accomplishment. You feel damn good about yourself.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
in life, when you feel good about yourself, Gwen, you will be prospering.
Hmm. Yes.
You will be actually prospering because you feel good about yourself. You love yourself. You know what you're doing. That is why I'm always grateful to MDRT. I learned all this from all these great people, in the MDRT platform, and of course in many conferences, and so we continuously keep upgrading ourselves, keep elevating our belief system and level, and then of course the tools keep upgrading. So I mean, it's the thing about helping people, help, and the rest of it will fall in place.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Raju. I guess that's, you know, your message is something that a lot of financial planners, I think they already know this message, but it never hurts for them to hear it again, because it's important to really continuously share this message, because it is important, especially now in this time and age where a lot of some people are struggling. But I think and as you said, there's really an opportunity in this moment to shine as financial planners, because in this time of the pandemic, people actually need to go deep down and look at um, their the their financial structure of their home, to see and find out where a financial planner can help. But I guess my last question for you before we do end this conversation, Raju, is that what would be the best advice that you can give for upcoming financial advisors or financial planners?
I mean, the first thing first, Gwen. I mean, we not to worry about probably some of these negative comments about the profession. I mean, in every profession, you hear of this. You have great doctors. You have doctors who don't, abide by the ethics. Similarly, any profession, lawyers or any, there are great lawyers and great doctors, great professionals. So we don't have to worry too much about all this negativity and all that. What is important is what you have has got great value, all right, in the financial journey of any individual or businesses. So we keep upgrading ourselves and just get into the mission. Just get into the mission of serving. And once you keep doing that, and you have a number of satisfying clients, and become a trusted advisor. Become a trusted advisor, and don't sell products because of very high margins. Products is prescription that falls later. So if at all, I want to just humbly my opinion is, when you're a financial planner, don't position yourself in terms of, I'm going to push this product, I'm going to sell some investment products, I'm going to sell some insurance products. Let it be there. It will happen, because end of the day, you need to treat the client. You need to treat the client. The only way to treat it is, you can, of course, write a fantastic financial plan. End of the day, you got to execute with the product. So leave the product at the later part. The first part of your role, or the first thing that you got to be committed in doing is, hey, look, I will walk you through a financial plan first. Let me sit down and establish these financial dreams, aspirations, and goals of you. And then we'll walk you through. So you will definitely see gaps. And the gaps can only be fixed by products. So what I would want to say, every financial planner out there, just get this right first. Right. And of course, tell them you're going to charge a fee for work. I charge fee for the plan. Right. End of the day, this is the product I prescribe. You get it from me. Yes, you get it from my shelf, my pharmacist. You can pick it up from us. But if you want to go and get it elsewhere, well, you sign this declaration saying that you are getting this product that I prescribe. Go ahead. So the client will be able to see your sincerity, your commitment. So what I would like to say, especially those who are fronting products first, just keep it there. Front your financial plan first. That's the humble thing that I probably would like to share, because I have seen benefits by doing that, Gwen.
Definitely. I agree. And I think it's a better way of positioning yourself as a financial planner as well. So thank you so much for that
One
one.
other thing, Gwen, I would like to add, since you have listeners from all over, especially Australia and all that, I must say the opportunity in ASEAN, especially planners who are in Australia and UK and other parts of the world, they are in practice for a long time. They have a very efficient practice model.
Yes.
And tools and all that. ASEAN is the place to get in now. They can always, if they want to explore any opportunities in ASEAN, feel free to get in touch with me, because countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Brunei, these are countries I have traveled, I've met people, and the opportunities are massive. And our friends, our brothers, who are in countries like Australia, UK, and other parts of the world, they are very advanced in the sense they started financial industry is very old there, so they have a lot of things to offer to this region. And if we are keen and interested, excited about ASEAN, feel free. Countries like Philippines, well, there's a lot of opportunities basically in ASEAN. And these things are not going to, the pandemic, time will definitely heal all this. Let's be more positive, and everything will be over soon, and we can all be happy, and, we can mean a lot in the lives of people. That's my parting message I could give you.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Raju. But and I guess it's a good way to end the show. Of course, thank you all for coming into the show in the first place. But where can people who are interested in speaking with you, if they want to get to know you more, where should they go?
I can just straight give my personal number. I'm okay with that. It's plus 6019 3345 087. They can just WhatsApp me, and we can start a relationship. I'm all right with that. Plus 6019 3345 087. Or they can also visit my website bpplanning.com.my. And of course, social media, YouTube, we have a number of things inside there. So, so they can reach out, and if they want to know anything about ASEAN, especially, I've done a massive research about what's going on and what's going to be the opportunities in the next coming 5 to 7 years. I don't mind sharing all this, because we are in a business of sharing. When more you share, the more you're going to benefit. And this is what MDRT taught me.
Definitely, and that is basically the essence of this podcast as well, is to share what other financial planners has to say, so that we all can jump into the positive evolution of financial advice. So thank you so much, Raju, for coming
Yeah, I
into the show.
congratulate you all. XY advisory. I mean, this is a great thing that you are doing to the financial planning community.
Yes.
I really appreciate, because I did have the opportunity to listen to some of your broadcasts, and it's
Ah, thanks
fantastic
so much.
ideas and tools. So keep up this good work, and let's all work together.
Yes.
So all the best, Gwen.
Thank you so much, Raju, and to you and to Blueprint group of companies as well. I wish you all stay healthy and happy.
Stay happy, then you will be healthy. Thank you.